throwing kickoff from St. Paul's, allowed to bounce. Yoka picks it up in the end, feeds it off, and a good first hit up, and every step the boys on the hill are right in it. They love it, so it's great to hear. And again,
Yeah.
it's almost a theatre in itself, isn't it, Troy?
Yeah, we got it in stereo. We got both sides. We've got the left hand and the right hand edge, and the boys are all starting to warm up a little. It's like, you know, good to have the support down here, especially after school, you know, and they'd all be mates and good friends and buddies down here, and I dare say, you know, they'll be looking for the result to try and get these guys to the grand final without having to back up next week. And I wonder how much of that's come into the chat from the coaches in regards to let's take the short circuit there as opposed to grinding it out and having to front up for another match.
Yeah, I think if you've got the choice, you probably want the week off, as we see an error made by Kelston there following a penalty. So St. Paul's will have a scrum 40 metres out from their line. But yeah, I think if you've got the choice, especially backing up from a game like this, Troy, you know what it's like playing in mud. You know, very taxing on the muscles and that sort of thing. So I think if you've got the choice, you have the week off and go straight through to the grand final, obviously. So St. Paul's going to feed this scrum 40 metres out. Onyeki coming in to lock the scrum. And we do have to pay tribute to the great crowd that have turned out today. Of course, this area, a renowned rugby league area. We've got Richmond just around the corner, the Ponsonby Ponies as well. And back in the day, clubs like City Newton as well. So it's a real rugby league area, I guess, where the game was built upon back in the day. Of course, the demographics and things around here have changed a little lately, but it's still a great rugby league area. And you look at Richmond doing well in the Fox this year, and Ponsonby have been huge improvers in the Sharman Cup competition as well, Troy. So good to see rugby league thriving in Central Auckland as St. Paul's now shifted out towards the left. And it's Williams out wide on the wing. Sloppy old play of the ball, and it's an error. So St. Paul's failed to compound any pressure on Kelston there, just a sloppy little error after what had been a good set. So Kelston again led off the hook and will come out from about their 30-metre line.
Yeah, well, you pulled out City Newton Dragons. There's a name we haven't heard in a while, and it's good to see you young whippersnappers, you know, having a bit of knowledge around the history of the game. And City Newton, wow, that is one for the books. Great run by the winger there as he gets a good settle in. And Kelston are into their next set, and they're just running one off the ruck.
They're probably waiting for a penalty the way this game's gone. They've got one just about every time they've had the ball, so Kelston probably know they don't have to try anything too exotic.
They've eaten some metres here though, Corey. They've certainly you know, got out of that 20, and let's see what they do with the ball.
So Yoka now dummies, goes through. It's a good tackle. First up, he's, I think, one of the hardest players in the competition to tackle this youth, Yoka. He's a really impressive guy. Of course, his older brother Zion, the former halfback of this team. He's the halfback when they won the national title and the Auckland title a few years ago. And younger brother Cartier is playing in the number 7 today. So the three Yoka brothers all instrumental in Kelston's recent success. And this time it's Kelston's time to give away a penalty. This one about 30 metres out from the line, so St. Paul's now will kick for touch. Remember, there's only 6 points in this game, so it's absolutely game on. He kicks out towards the crowd here, and a nice little bat down by one of the lads in the crowd.
Yeah, I hope just it pops back into my head that 2 points missed in the conversion of the try doesn't come back to haunt anybody. And we're in a bit of firm ground here. It's a bit of green grass and there's a bit of speed up.
And look at this Mike Williams. We mentioned before, Troy, really muscly guy, fights for that extra yardage in the tackle, but also forces extra guys to come in.
Yeah.
But a drop ball, it's going to be ruled a strip. Wairangi was in there with the strip, and St. Paul's are getting pumped now. The crowd is coming up.
Take the points? No, they're going to take the points.
So kick for touch.
Okay, they're backing themselves here.
So we look here at the way they're set up, Troy. St. Paul's with 4 numbered up out wide, and at this stage, Kelston with a very compressed defensive line, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out as the set goes on. Seo, almost no doubt here, he'll look towards the left, and indeed he does. Whakapalia steps through. Might be held up. There's plenty of red bodies there, held up. Okay, so showed their intention there, though, Troy. As you mentioned, they sort of held off him a little bit, and that was all he needed. We go back out to the 10. Seo heads out towards the left. Tavita.
They're doubled up out there. Oh.
And spectacular little juggle from the big man there. Manages to get the ball back, come out to the left. Seo, dummies, met well. Yoka in the tackle. Back towards the middle now. It's one out stuff from St. Paul's. This one's Aringa, Zephaniah Aringa.
That's the full count. Let's see what they do with the ball from here.
You would think we're going to see a little kick dribbled through down the left edge here, but instead they'll run it through their hands. Looks like there's space there. Reaches out. Is he short? Thompson checks. Linos, and we have a try. So St. Paul's hit back.
Well, looked like the support there on our next to our commentary box. That she called that probably about 2 minutes before the kid got there. Yeah.
Got our own little bunker down here at St. Paul's College. Absolutely fantastic. And Kelston, they got a man down after attempting to make the tackle on that one as well. So hoping he's okay. It might be Joe and Yiki.
And a little bit of light sort of closing out, not too much. Bit of an overcast day, and the rain and the weather has been shocking over the last few days, and I know it's been torrential downpour the night before last, which wouldn't have helped these grounds too much. That said, the middle of the park seems to be holding up. You can actually see it looks like a wee bit of a freeway there, Corey, where they've been going there, one up outside the ruck, up and down, up and down. That young fella over on the far edge there is just still taking a wee bit of time to get back up onto his feet. And so we get ready for the kick at goal.
And Troy, you get the feeling there's probably not too many points left in this match. This kick's going to be absolutely vital in terms of potentially down the track if you end up with a lead or if you're 2 points behind. So it's not going to be an easy kick. It's from well out towards the left of the uprights.
And the ball will be heavy as well. It's caked in mud. It was a brand new ball to start with. And, yeah, it waved away.
Yeah, so Tavita pushes it to the left of the sticks. It was a decent strike, had plenty of legs on it, but just away. So Kelston lead 10 points to 8, and we got about 18 minutes left in this second half of second chance semi-final between St. Paul's College and Kelston Boys High School. Of course, St. Paul's, the minor premiers of the comp, went through, I think, undefeated as a top qualifier. Kelston snuck in second, and followed by Wesley and Westlake. They're playing the elimination final simultaneously on the other ground, and as I mentioned earlier, we'll wait for some updates from that game to find out who the loser of this one will be playing next week in our SAS College Rugby League live stream. In the meantime, a big hit up, and it's Mike Williams again. Oh, he's a spirited little thing, and the crowd love it, riding him all the way. Met by Yorker, though, probably not the best man to run into, and there's a knock-on in it. And all of a sudden, the St. Paul's crowd got a little quieter, Troy.
Yeah, that number 2, sorry, his name, Corey? Mike Williams. He's strong, mate. He's got big, tough upper strength. Earlier today, you know, he threw a player out, like just batting him away like a fly. And now he's running into the big boys and he's holding his own. Oh, the music's cranking over on the far side again. The disco is back. And we are live down here at St. Paul's field. Big thank you to St. Paul's hosting us, the Auckland Rugby League down here today. Fantastic to be here on the school grounds.
A run out there from Carlos Henry. 20 metres out from the line. Yoka now with his hands on the ball. Another of these big men who tends to play the full 50 minutes in these College Rugby League games because we play restricted minutes. But in the end, he's come with a knock-on. So sloppy from both sides, really. Neither team really able to complete too many sets in the second half so far. Just leaving that scoreline sort of very close.
Just as they're getting reset to set up for this next scrum. A lot of parents that are here today. You know, a lot of you know, uncles and aunts, mums and dads down here. I know I've just seen one famous name in the rugby league world, Sorensen, Nicole Sorensen down here. And I think she's with gym leader who supply the Auckland Rugby League with bolsters. So good to see her, young one coming through, and another great name in the tradition of Auckland Rugby League. Just having a look at the team list here, sideline. Kelston back into the D, and here comes St. Paul's out of the ruck. Getting a few metres there. Bit of torque, bit of energy inside the Kelston side now, and they need it. as much energy as on the sideline here of the St Paul supporters.
Good little kick down into touch there in the end. That's probably just what they needed. Just complete a nice simple one and make the opposition work it off the line. So I'll be happy with that, St Paul's coaching staff.
Here comes the Auckland Rugby League camera cam and our local chopper, and we'll have an air view. Oh no, we can't get an air view. There's a technical glitch. We'll have to stay with the CTAS cameras as the game unfolds. A little bit of a discussion going on over there, Corey.
Yeah, a little delay in the game as we talk tactics. Kelston feed it one out. Good line speed initially from St Paul's. Onyeki coming out of dummy half now. Good carry. Big lanky body. Joseph Onyeki. This is his first year playing in this team. Been impressed with him when we watched him earlier in the year against Westlake. Scored a good little try. One out left. This is the number 12, Justice Leosevi. So we missed one out here, and this is Xavier Tutaki.
Fullback's got out here on the other end, and he is screaming for the ball. They've chipped over the top.
And only kicks across the body, but it finds the fullback, Durden McKee, on the full. But still not a bad set from Kelston. Any completed set's a good one now at this stage of the game. And Kelston give away a penalty there, so they really reverse so much of that good work that was done earlier, just with a simple little error there. And Tavita will kick for touch. Straight into the crowd again, and the young fella
the ball comes out of the crowd. No, it's not being taken home. They have coughed it back up and back out onto the field. No one's claiming mindsies. Oh.
And again, I think that's Mike Williams again. So Troy's had heavy involvement out here right in front of us in the commentary booth. Again, fighting for that yardage, and see, just makes the tackle awkward for everyone. He's that's a really good feature of his game.
You know, and for some of those defenders, it's not a nice way to be spending a Wednesday afternoon trying to bring that man down.
And the crowd loved that one. Another penalty, this one for a little ruck infringement. It's going to give St Paul's a kick for touch on their 40. So now the pressure's really on Kelston. They have a 2-point lead. That means very little right now if they concede a try. They'll start this set from about 20 metres out. So energy is going to be crucial here from Kelston. And Phil Gordon, he'll be sending the message out. Keep the line speed up. Keep the good attitude up. We're going to need it. Here they come now.
Oh,
clumsy there, though. That was...
Needed patience.
Yeah.
And he's pushed it.
Sione Taipalutu.
Just on that, Corey, would you have taken the kick or kick for touch?
To be fair, from 40 metres out in the middle of the mud there, I'm probably tempted to play rather than kick the goal. I think it's probably awkward conditions to try and to kick a long ranger. So, but you do get to the point in a game like this where, as we mentioned earlier, I don't think there's going to be too many more points scored. So you do have to start thinking about what do we do in terms of trying to get ourselves even into this game. So we'll see what happens. Of course, we have extra time in the SAS College Rugby League competition, so if scores are tied, we go to extra time. Last year, Kelston and Mount Albert Grammar went to extra time, and Kelston winning with a field goal in the end there. Emotional scenes at Mags, who were denied by a field goal late in the piece. So we wait and see if extra time will be required. But for now, Yuka with a good carry, and he's crunched there, and the crowd riding it out towards the left. Dummies and heads back right in towards the mud. Last tackle.
And I don't know whether you can pick this up on the screen, but we've got a fullback sitting down here hugging this touchline, and nobody's marking him, and he's been there for the last 5 minutes.
And it looks like we may have had a little positional shift there. Onyeki appears to have gone to fullback, so he was initially named on the wing.
Right.
Adams has come out, as you mentioned, Troy, to this left wing. So we've got the number 1 playing out here on the left wing. So a bit of a tactical adjustment from Phil Gordon with Onyeki at the back. Of course, a big tall thing perhaps gives a high ball advantage. St Paul's have broken down the left here, dragged in well in the end. It's a good tackle by, not sure who that was, didn't quite catch the number, I think maybe Ezeki Aipana. So out now on the far left-hand side of the field, they head back towards the middle of the park. And a penalty. That is a big one for St. Paul's. It's well out towards the left. I don't think a shot at goal is an option. So they'll probably tap and go here, but another opportunity now to build some pressure in Troy. What they don't need is an error on first tackle again.
No, they need to have some patience and use the ball for the 6. You know, it's taken a wee bit of time for them to get down here. They've
got
shifted
space
it,
here. They've got space. Here we go. He's in.
Yes.
This is the big number 12. Jaira, Momoisia, and Troy. There were acres of space. They had 3 guys that could have scored that try unmarked. Really
they made that look simple, didn't they?
Questionable defence from Kelston, and to be fair, don't want to be too harsh on them, but their edge defence today has not been good when tested. We saw it in the first half. It was the other side of the field that was having the issues, but that time just not numbering up well enough and go straight through. So that is a concern for Kelston, and St. Paul's take the lead with that one. 12 points to 10. Kick to come.
Great game, isn't it, Corey, eh? Great game. And good to see, you know, 2 solid teams like this go up and down the field. Sure, there's been a couple of hiccups with some of the execution, but, you know, and they've got down inside that 20. They've certainly made it count and put some scores on the board. Put some tries, put some numbers on the board. And the music's on. We're back into it as the young fella gets ready to take kick at goal. Kelston over there will be having the chat again with the coaches, and dare say that they're going to have a wee bit of clock pressure as well, regardless of what the score is, whether he gets this kick or not. It'll be all or nothing now.
I think it might be the Kelston fans who've got the boombox out, Troy, and maybe just a little bit of gamesmanship here, trying to put the kicker off, Don Tavita. So we've got some nice rap music playing in the background here at St. Paul's. Tavita doesn't look too worried, mind you. Definitely silent all of a sudden here at St. Paul's. You can't hear a peep, so home crowd not wanting to put any extra pressure on him, and it's a great kick. So good, in fact, that the touch judge had his flag up before the ball even got through. But Dylan Tavita, great kick from out wide. Of course, we saw him miss one from almost in front at the start of the game, but that's a really good kick and gives them that 4-point buffer, which might be huge.
Well, it puts pressure on the kicker if Kelston managed to get back down to the other half. And let's see what the energy's like. Let's see how much communication starts to happen now. You know, do we know what the time clock is by any chance?
Just looking over at our match manager there. We'll try and get a time update for you. So St. Paul's now working off the line and probably got a little bit of extra energy in the step after that. Out towards the left. Good carry there from Dayton Toinevasa. Towards the middle of the sticks now, encroaching up towards halfway. So this is an important set from Kelston. Can ill afford a penalty in this one. Similarly for St. Paul's, can ill afford a mistake. This one, good little kick from Jalen Murray down towards the corner. Turns Onyeki around. The chase is good from St. Paul's. Onyeki picks it up. He's a big body. What can he do with it? Met well. First up, sloppy old play the ball, but they get there in the end, and there's some yardage to be made out of dummy half, and he's gone straight through. Tackled well in the end. I think it might have been Murray with a great little legs tackle at the very end. The smallest player on the park. Great effort from Murray. St. Paul's are really on their haunches here. Murray again getting in on the tackling. Look like they might be a little bit short towards the left here if this is where Kelston choose to go. It is indeed. Out they come. Tutaki met with a big hit from Sione Nahi. Up 40 metres out from the line. This is a good set from Kelston. And a penalty. That's exactly what they wanted. St. Paul's there. That's a real shame. They did really well to defend that set, but then just got a little bit sloppy at the end. Not what they needed. So Kelston now finally with some possession now deep down inside attacking territory. Portu's going to kick for touch. The ball around about 20 metres out from the line.
Can't be far off. Can't be far off, and Kelston now hitting the line. First settle in off the ruck.
So Yoka now with a big carry. Boy, he's been good again today. Impresses me more and more each time I watch him, this young kid, Utah Yoka. Dummy half run, and they're struggling to pull him down. Toinevasa getting involved. He's straight through. He might go all the way here. Just held up just short of the line.
Stick.
There's space out here on the left, and it's exactly where they're going to go. Rangi now with the ball, throws a big cutout. Adams is out there on the wing. What can he do? Steps back inside. Good scramble, great scramble from St. Paul's College. Saves the day, and they're pretty excited about it as well.
I think the linesman's thrown his flag up.
Wow, so that was real danger signs there for St. Paul's when Adams got the ball in space, but they got their numbers in the end and got him into touch. So St. Paul's will earn themselves a scrum feed here. And we're not exactly sure on the time, but we think probably about maybe 7 or 5 minutes remaining in this one. So plenty of time to win or lose a football game, Troy.
Absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see how we go now. This is getting down to, it's now or never. And let's see how much discipline the St. Paul boys have coming out of their line.
Can't afford a penalty here for Kelston, and Mike Williams staying down on the tackle of that one. There was plenty going on the tackle, not too sure what happened, maybe copped a little knock.
Guys get a little bit of a breather as the
and we just received news from our roving correspondent that St. Paul's have won the nine-a-side game over the back of the field, so they're through to the final for that competition, I think. So well done to St. Paul's defeating Manurewa. So success on all fronts for St. Paul's so far today. Let's hope they can hold on to this one as well, and it'll be a great day for the school. So in the meantime, they work it out. Williams has shaken off that injury, walking back out towards the wing now. As we mentioned before, Kelston really can't afford a penalty here. It has to be a clean set. There's plenty of time left to get themselves back into this game if they're disciplined enough. Tavita takes it to the line, gets the offload away. There's a little bit of space now out here on the right. Williams is unmarked. Still going. Kelston get there in the end, so quick play the ball here. Kelston are struggling to get back. They'll surely go towards the left. Seal finds Tuipulotu. Kelston did well to get their line reset there, Troy, and get things back together. Last tackle then, so Seal.
the fumble knock forward, it is.
There we go, knock on, so
all
not what they
good
needed.
Work and Precious then let off.
You look at areas like that, Troy, it really costs you 40 metres, doesn't it? Because you get a kick away there, you get it down, they're working it off their own line. Instead, they get it just around halfway, and a bit of gamesmanship from Tavita, not wanting to give the ball back.
Still going. Yeah, and that sort of stuff plays mental gymnastics. You know, you're wanting to get down, take your opportunities, seize them, and just something silly like is playing the ball upsets the momentum. So back to Kelston now. Oh, he's been cut in half. Gets up to play the ball. Bit of feeling now coming into the game.
Yeah. Now a break now out here on the right. It's a good run. I think it's Fred Saifata. Minutes left here in this second chance semi-final between Kelston Boys High School and St. Paul's. Kelston hard on the attack now. Coming back towards the middle of the sticks. Good first up contact from St. Paul's, so they're moving something towards the left here. Adams, plenty of talk coming from him. Out they come now. Tutaki with a good carry towards the middle. Just a settler they'll be setting up for probably a left side shift here, you would think. Adams is into space. Instead they go to the right. Yorker with the ball, drops his brother in on a short one. Stuck through half a little gap there, and that'll do it. Error on last tackle, so
turnover.
Not the ideal end to the set for Kelston, but not too bad either. They managed to get right down, make St. Paul's work it off their line now. Need a good, clean defensive set here. No penalties and no sort of misassignments on defence. So Murray now getting involved.
Oh, I love that piece of commentary, misassignments. That's nice work there, Corey. We're at school. I can see what you did there. I see what you did. Assignments in school. And back into the match again.
So St. Paul's now working it out. There's a little bit of space here if they dare to go there. Mike Williams hits the line hard.
He's still standing. He's
Incredible.
still standing. Strong lad, bending off for second rower. No problem.
So now up towards halfway. Now this is becoming a real battle of attrition here in the middle of the park. St. Paul's now head back towards the left. Tavita just dribbles that one into touch, and not a bad option there. Just probably give your boys a little rest as the nine-a-side boys come over from their backfield.
Yeah. And the nines look very clean and tidy. Look how clean those jerseys are.
Maybe we should have moved the game to the backfield. It's in great condition.
So the nines are sort of jumping in with the supporters down here, and they're starting to rack up for the home team as well. And as Corey said, we must be down to the last few minutes as we get ready to lay up the scrum, and Kelston's fed. And the referee's going to pull him back. Yeah, I thought that looked a wee bit premature.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on the match manager here, but only minutes left in this one. So Kelston, you would imagine they're not going to get too many more uses of the football here. Moving out now to the Yorker, and it's a daring play. Goes straight to the middle now. So Fata's into a bit of space. Up to halfway, so St. Paul's straight away tracking back. What can Kelston do with it? The crowd are erupting here at St. Paul's College. Head back towards the middle of the sticks.
The sneaky guy out on the sideline. No one's marking him.
He's been waiting all day.
Oh, this is it.
Play goes in the background. That's going to do it. So St. Paul's College are through to the SAS College Rugby League Grand Final. Kelston live another day. They'll play the winner of Wesley versus Westlake in the other semi-final, which we're waiting for a result from. So we'll be back. We will have Kelston for you again next week, up against either Westlake or Wesley. But congratulations to St. Paul's College, the defending SAS College Rugby League champions, through to a third consecutive grand final. And what a game, Troy. Hard fought. It had it all, really, didn't it?
Mate, I think we've seen pretty good benchmark of two good teams here in the SAS College Rugby League. Kelston are going to be a hard team to come up against for the next semi next week. And if you are joining us, please, it'll be live stream free. Come to the Auckland Rugby League website, www.aucklandleague.co.nz. Our major sponsors are SAS, and our associate sponsor are Hayden and Roll It. Been awesome to be with Corey, the caller, down here again today. And the insight and all the detail that goes into this, Corey, really appreciate that. And on behalf of Auckland Rugby League, we'd like to thank the St. Paul's College for hosting the game here as well. Also very nice to have Tale hobbling around here, getting some photos together for us. And you'll be able to see them on the website and through our Facebook page for the Auckland Rugby League. Once again, Corey, been a pleasure being with you, my friend. And looking forward to being with you again next